Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'd like to talk about the Addams family pinball machine. Now, if you don't know anything about pinball machines, this is an absolute legend in pinball. I can't think of another machine that people know as well as this machine. This one's had a lot of modifications done to it. I'm going to show you now. It's had, oh, they're not flashing now. It's had LEDs in the topper. It's got LEDs under the playfield. It's got some absolutely blinding flashes which probably make the game almost unplayable. It's got the outline rubbers pushed right to the top on both sides. There they are. Making the game absolutely nightmare to play, and it's really steep. Obviously the operator likes making money rather than letting people play pinball, which is a terrible shame. Anybody that plays this for the first time, I just got the barmaid and I put her on it, paid for her to have a couple of games, and she just wiped out completely. It's a little bit strange with this game. The knocker, every time you shoot the staircase, is that the staircase, is it? Yeah. Every time you shoot the staircase, the knocker goes bang. That's a bit unusual, so there's probably something a bit dodgy there. What else is to say about this? Well, if you don't know the game, basically you shoot the bookcase to open the bookcase, then you shoot thing, which is that ramp there, which sends the ball to thing in that box. Then that will lock the ball for multiple. What else can you do on it? Oh, the electric chair, when that's working, that gives you whatever's lit on the house. So the Mamushka, which is a popular one, Raise the Dead, what else is it? Quick multi-ball, extra ball. Does that, I've never paid much attention, but does shooting the electric chair like the multi-ball, is that what that does? And then you shoot not multi-ball, the extra ball, and then you shoot the ramp to get the extra ball. There's the extra ball there. Oh, the other thing flips. There's a little flipper just there. A little flipper. If the ball goes down there, then that lights thing flips. You shoot the ball straight up the ramp, up the middle, then that will bring the ball back to the flipper, and then the flipper has got a little sensor which will trigger the flipper when the ball drops, which shoots it across into the swamp. Is it the swamp or is that the graveyard? Oh, I don't know. But it shoots it down there, and then that gives you whatever the graveyard award is, which is built up by it in the pop bumpers. 5 pop bumpers on this machine, which I think is quite a lot, but it seems to work okay. What else is there to do on it? How do you like the special? I don't know how to like special. If you know, drop a link, drop a note in the comments how to like the special. Is it just completing the mansion? I completed the mansion, that gives you 50 million, but not on this machine. This machine is absolutely rock hard. Just losing balls all over the place. There's no ball save on this. Now I don't know if there is a ball save on this machine, but I don't ever remember there being one. A little bit like the Twilight Zone, I don't remember there being a ball save on that. Probably in the options and the settings you can put things like that in, but obviously when you're just walking up to it and playing it on location, you can't start fiddling with the settings. It's in very good condition. A few chips there. It doesn't look faded. It's in the window, which probably not a good thing. If anybody wants to know where this is in Brewdog in Leicester, not too far from the King Richard III Centre. So if anybody is in Leicester wants to play it, that's where it'll be. But what makes this machine more special than other machines? That's a bit of a conundrum that pinball manufacturers don't seem to be able to figure out. What makes it special for me is it's very easy to get something out of the game. You press start, boom, the music starts, which is a little bit atmospheric. The machine has an ambience about it, which I think's probably lost a little bit with all these LEDs in it. I think it's lost that mystique, that antique feel that it had. But if you don't know what you're doing, you shoot the ball up the staircase, you hit anything, the sounds, you shoot the ball up the middle ramp. What is that button ramp? I don't know what it's called. Shoot the ball up there and he's whoa! And it makes the noises it makes. It's just great. It's great. It's like the machine's communicating to you. It's like you're there with the machine. That's lost in a lot of Stern games. Absolutely lost. It's not even a factor. It's just voice calls for the sake of it. A little bit like video game pinball. It's like what? I would have thought by now, with Stern members of staff playing Pinball Arcade, I would have thought by now they would have learned what's missing from their games. It's heart. It's an emotional connection, which sounds incredible for something that's just a bag of bolts and electrics, but that's what's missing. You've got to have custom speech for your game. If it's a themed game, you've got to do that. It's got to. I've noticed with a lot of the Stern games, on location, the sound effects are a bit lost because they're usually turned down because people in pubs don't want to hear the machine going mad. That ruins the game anyway. But when they have been turned on, I'm thinking like Transformers and I'm trying to think of the games. Probably Raiders of the Lost Ark, is it? What's the Indiana Jones one? But the sound effect, even Tron. No, Tron is an amazing machine to look at. But the repetition of the DMD and the sound effects and things, it really drags very, very quickly. It's like, I don't know whether the people that are doing the code have the time to put in the effort to make these things as amazing as they should be. This video is going on, I don't understand that, but pinball is something I'm very, very passionate about, and this is like my hobby. This is what I do for fun. So yeah, that's how do other people feel? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, Stern's ain't as good as Williams," but nobody ever says why. Nobody ever says like why they think that is and what's missing. Like a game that's very popular is the pinball part of The Simpsons. I think it's awful. The layout looks okay, but it's just like shoot the garage, and the voice calls over and over and over again. And for some reason, they don't quite sound right. They don't quite sound almost like it's. I know it's not an impersonator, but it's almost like it's an impersonator doing Bart and Daredevil Bart, and it's like shut up. Maybe that needed a lot more coding and a lot more effort. And a lot more different varied voice samples. Because to look at and especially in an enormous license like The Simpsons, that should have been absolutely astronomical, but it wasn't, was it? A lot of people, they say they've bought it, thought it was going to be great, and then just gave up on it. So what would you need to make a great pinball machine? What I would say was, you need a table with lots of interesting voice calls that direct you to the game. I've even thought about, if you had 3 different sets of voice calls, so on random, so that they didn't get too repetitive. Something I've never really liked is the train shot. That could have been more interesting. If that was drop targets in front of the train. Something like that. But yeah, absolutely love the Addams Family machine. I think it's great, and I probably would say that Twilight Zone was probably more of a preference for me before I learnt the game. Just to walk up, don't really know what you're doing, banging the ball around, getting lights and flashing noises, and you don't know what's going on, and you're trying to get the gumball going, and that to me, before I learnt it, was probably a better game. Now, if they were side by side and I was going to play one, it probably would be Twilight Zone still. But for some reason, learning everything about it did sort of killed it for me. Like the journey was more fascinating than the destination. What else can we say about the Addams Family? There's an Addams Family on the internet, which is somebody's recoded it, or it's a future pinball version. That looks fantastic. It's got extra voice calls and stuff and more bits and bobs in it. I love the effort they've done. I also like, I don't know if they're still doing it, the Dutch people that are doing Bride of Pinball. They've done some amazing things recoding that. But the voice calls on that were pretty much what made the game and made it interesting. So let me know your experiences and what you think about the Addams Family. Whether you prefer the Addams Family normal or the gold ROM. If I had one of these, it'd be the gold ROM straight in it, just for the fun of it. So yeah, the Addams Family pinball machine. Comments and blah blah blah. Take care of yourselves and speak to you all very, very soon.